Good morning. Thanks for tuning in to another daily conversation about situations in everyday life. So let's talk about it. So today, the topic I want to talk about is how do we show up after trauma? That one hits home really hard for me. Trauma has shown up in my life in so many ways, different ways, I should say. But the one that hit me the hardest was losing my dad last year. How I've been showing up since then, I would say it's been hard, but I know that I'm doing the best I can do, right? I'm not holding myself back from showing up. I'm not suppressing my feelings, but I'm kind of managing it. I'm learning how to live with it because trauma doesn't really, depending on the kind of trauma that you're experiencing, it never goes away, right? It becomes a part of you. It's something that you now have to learn to live with. For example, like what I talked about yesterday, you know, that judgment that follows you based off of what you've done, that is a sense of trauma, right? Because you're now having to battle it and face it on a daily basis because you're being judged by your past. Losing a loved one, learning how to show up after that. It's like, you know, people expect you to just be normal. Like even a job, they just give you 3 days, you know, bereavement, 3 days time off. So you're telling me that I have to get over losing the one person in my life that I felt like knew me better than any other man on this planet. I'm supposed to just get over it in 3 days and go back to life like nothing happened, right? Realistically, I don't even think that that's possible at all. I think that time frame is just for you to get adjusted with your new reality and figure out how you're going to do it. Life has no mercy on you. God has mercy on you, but life has no mercy on you. They don't care what you're going through. When it wants to hit, it's going to hit. And sometimes it's going to hit hard. And you're going to be like, hold up, wait a minute, pump your brakes. You know, like in your mind, you just be like, yo, can I just catch a break? Can I just breathe for a minute, right? Life don't care about all of that. Life is going to do what it does. It's created to shake things up. And our job is to figure out how to maneuver through it. It's kind of like a game, you know, but it just is what it is. You got to figure out how to maneuver through it. You know, like, my daughter was telling me about one of her friends today that is supposed to be having a wedding this month in the next 2 weeks. And the matron of honor's husband just died yesterday in a car accident, a motorcycle accident. And they have 2 little boys together. How was she supposed to show up after that? How do you pull it together? And mind you, you just recently got married, right? She just recently got married. And now she's supposed to show up to be the matron of honor to someone else's wedding in 2 weeks of her losing her husband. Are you kidding me right now? Are you insane right now? Like, how am I supposed to do this? Someone tell me how, right? We don't know. And a lot of us, sometimes we're forced to have to jump right back into life. And then you're experiencing these little valleys and you're kind of like brushing them off and ignoring them. But you don't understand that the more that you keep brushing them off and putting them aside, they're only piling up. They're piling up and then they're going to smother you. They're going to smother you dry. You got to kind of face it. You got to own it. This is my reality now. I had to sit down and be like, I don't have my dad anymore. What am I going to do? I can't call him just to that many that Psalms this morning, Figuan, just get my head right. I can't call him and get that information anymore. I got to go off of everything that he's given me already. I can't I can't look for him to call me on my birthday and sing the birthday song that he sings to all of his kids every year. The happy birthday to you. I'm not going to get that anymore. I look forward to that, and I'm not going to get it anymore. Am I going to be upset about it? Or I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to sing it to myself now every year. I'm going to sing my own birthday song to myself. And I'm going to sing it in his voice so that I could feel his presence. That's a way of me trying to learn how to heal or just deal with it, the fact that he's not here. Or I'm going to be angry. Every birthday I'm going to be angry. Every time I see something that resembles him, I'm going to get angry. I can't. I'm going to be living in this place of just darkness. When I think that I'm showing up in darkness. Like my fiance always says to me, he goes, your skin color changes with your mood. He said, when you're in a dark mood, your skin color gets dark. When you're in a bright mood, your skin color gets bright. And I'm like, man, you tripping. But I saw it for myself one day. And then I saw it on my daughter one day, and I'm like, wow, so this is real. It's like, you got to understand that we have so much power over how we show up. And I think the hardest time for us is trying to show up after trauma. And why I can share with you that it is key to do the work is because I had to figure out how to do it. And I see that when I apply myself in a different way, it works better. I feel better. Instead of me sitting there and secluding myself and not connecting with my loved ones and me keeping this, feeling in my mind, letting it take over my body of anger of, why these things are happening in my life. Instead of me letting it out, let the anger out. If I got to scream, scream. If I got to curse, curse. Just let it out. But then deal with it. Like, this is now your reality. It's like the issue that I had to survive yesterday. It's like, okay, this is your new reality. How are you going to show up in it? How are you going to handle it? How do we figure out how to still keep a sane mind? How to not let others feel our pain? How to not retaliate in such a way using words that I can never take back because of anger. You can't keep doing those things and want positive results. Okay? If you're in a traumatic space where you can't even think, get help. Please get help. Accept the fact that you're not good. Accept the fact that you're not progressing, and get help. Get help. You don't want to go to a therapist or someone because you don't want to be telling your business to someone you don't know. Find a close friend. Find a loved one that you can open up with. Find a like-minded person going through what you're going through. Maybe a grief group, people that lost someone. I think there's those out there. Let's seek those if you don't want to go to a therapist. Get the help that you need so that you can move forward. Because if you keep moving forward in trauma, all you're going to do is keep on hurting your loved ones and other people that don't deserve it around you. Because hurt people hurt people. That's a fact. And until we can resolve our hurt and deal with the root of where it's coming from, we're not going to progress in life. We're going to be stagnant in where we are. We're not going to see elevation, no way near, shape, or form. And what you want to do is just live, right? You just want to just live, enjoy life, right? One of my favorite songs right now is from Diane. And man say, I just want to live a little, breathe a little, and go on enjoy life. Cause every more could make a mickle, and but I watch it trickle, cause things soon alright. All I want to do, that's all I want to do is just live, enjoy life. Things are going to get hard, right? But don't let it take away your joy. don't let it take away your happiness, because even though one thing may be bad, if you look at other things in your life, you'll realize you have more good things to be thankful for than that one thing that's bad. And sometimes that one thing that you're looking at as bad can be in turn good for you. You just got to wait it out. Sometimes you just got to wait it out, because it might be bad right now. It might feel bad right now. Like losing my dad was bad. Like I was angry. I was angry. I wanted to go, when I walked into that church and saw him there, I wanted to just jump on the casket. I just wanted to take his body. It's so much that I was feeling that no, take me with you. Give me him back. Like, why are you taking him? Like, all of that feeling just rushed through me, right? I experienced being there with my dad during his last moments. He had all of us around him, all of his children around him. But the moment when the people came to remove his physical from the home, I lost it. I almost lost it, and I had to realize, one of my brothers looked at me, and he was at the top of the stairs in my mother's house, and he was like, "Pull it together, Miriam, hold it." Shout out to Brother Peter for that. And my 3 oldest kids came, and they held me. They held me. And it was the hardest moment. But as his flesh started to leave, I'm like looking through my mom's front door and watching them go down the hill. And it took everything out of me not to just lose it on everybody. I didn't want nobody. I was so angry, I just had to hold it in. And then the one thing that popped into my mind is what my dad said. Y'all just gonna miss me. Y'all just gonna miss my physical. But I'm still gonna be with you guys. I had to take that and comfort myself. And since he's been transitioned, I still feel him every day. It's so funny that there's been this little red cardinal bird that's been showing up at my window and on my patio since we've been back from Jamaica, where we went to lay his body for rest. And I even my kids, I tell them that's, like, I tell them, I'm like, that's granddaddy, And I'm like, it's kind of crazy. They'd be like, "Mommy, granddaddy's on the patio." And someone will hear that, like, what are they talking about? But that's just my thing. If you want to say it's your way of comforting yourself, so be it. If that's what I got to do to comfort myself, so be it. But I know that there was no red cardinal bird around here. You're going to say, "Oh, he just moved in the neighborhood. He just popped up. He said he just going to rest there, make a nest right over your patio." Oh, well, I guess it just so happened to be that way, right? Hey, if that's what you want to say, then great. But for me, I know what I feel it is. And if that's what I need to be my comfort, that's what I'm going to utilize. So whatever it is that you need to be your comfort, to help you through your trauma, to allow you to show up, do it. Who cares? If anyone wants to call you crazy, let them call you crazy. But if you and you're deep in your soul, because at the end of the day, we gotta understand that our core is gonna guide us to what it is that our soul really wants. And if we tap into our core, it's gonna truly tell us. A lot of times we don't listen to that voice. A lot of times we ignore it and we listen to the other one that's real loud. The one that's real quiet is always the right one. The one that's real loud is the one that's distracting you from that one that's real subtle and quiet. Right? Because I don't need to they always tell you, a person that got to tell you that they the ish. I don't got to tell you that I'm that. Okay? Because you're going to see that. You're going to feel that from me. But if I got to walk around and say that every minute, oh, I'm fine. I'm great. There's nothing wrong with me. Oh, I'm okay. No, you're not. You're lying. You're lying to yourself, but it's okay. It's only going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt me, because you got to deal with you every day. I don't have to deal with you. You can rub me the wrong way and I could remove myself from you. But you're going to have to deal with you every day. I started to realize how I didn't like who I was becoming. I was snapping every minute. I was mean. I was closed in. I didn't care about what I was doing, how I was looking, I just found myself in a dark, dark place. Until I had to be like, And I remember what my dad told me before he passed. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not I'm not representing my pops if I'm acting like this. I'm stronger than that. And if I know that he's not, like, he's just gone in the flesh, but his spirit is still with me, he's my guiding angel. What am I mad for? Understand that he lived a good life. There's people out there that's losing people not by choice, not by a terminal illness, that you're able to sit there and watch them and be there with them till they leave this earth. You have people that are losing loved ones traumatically. They're just being ripped away. Like my daughter's friend. Her and her husband didn't separate and they're not together no more. He was removed from her life by an accident. That is something that it's like you were not prepared for. So how do you make it through that? At least I was prepared because I knew that my dad had a terminal illness. But the reality of it is, I'm going to be honest with you, and it took me 2 months after finding out for me to really accept what it is and for me to live in the moment with him until that day came. But for the first 2 months, I didn't even want to go see him because I didn't want to see him like that. And I didn't want to accept the fact that he was really sick, because if I saw him not looking like my dad, or if I saw something a little off with him, then it's going to be like, this is real. I didn't want to believe that it was real. I wanted to believe that, okay, we're going to find some holistic doctor that's going to remove that, and the next time you go get scanned, it ain't going to be there. But the reality of it is, my dad kept telling all of us what it was. And, some of us felt what we felt, and everyone's going to feel what they feel. Everyone is different, right? But at the end of the day, God gave him time to sit here and connect with us in those last moments, and we didn't have to get that. And that I'm thankful for. And with that, I comfort myself every day and remember every conversation that we had and remember every moment that I had growing up with him and cherish it more than sitting in the traumatic idea and thought that he's no longer here. That I refuse to continue to do. So within showing up, I'm now being more intentional about how I'm going to show up, because I don't want it to replicate anger. I don't want it to hurt anyone based off of my actions. I don't want to hurt anyone, right? So I really am focused on being intentional about how I show up every day after my traumatic experience of losing my dad. So with that, it's hard. I know it's hard, especially to some of you that have lost loved ones that you did not get any warning. I know it's hard, but I believe that we all have the strength within us to overcome and learn how to live with a traumatic experience that has shifted our lives into a different direction. So with that being said, let's all stay focused on trying to be intentional every day on how we show up after trauma and not live in it. Because if you show up with the growth of, this is an experience that I have to learn how to live with. It's an experience that I can't let break me. It's an experience that is going to shape me into a new direction. And once you are intentional about how you're going to move, I think we're going to move in the right direction. So let's continue to do that and become the best version of you.